AEW President Tony Khan officially announces CM Punk's return to in-ring competition and the first main event of AEW Collision in a few weeks' time on TNT. Plus, could there be new members to Jay White's faction? Because last night on AEW Dynamite, the Guns assisted him in a big victory over Absolute Ricky Starks. Adam Cole is seemingly MJF's next challenger for the AEW World Championship as they verbally sparred last night on Dynamite. Orange Cassidy once again successfully defends his international title. The Hung Bucks will face off against the Blackpool Combat Club next week on AEW Dynamite. The summer of Jungle Hook is upon us after they won their match last night on TBS. KRIS Statlander has retained the TBS Championship and longtime AEW seamstress Sandra retires. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrest News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Let's start off talking about the worst kept secret, I suppose, in pro wrestling. That is that this main event for AEW Collision involving CM Punk. But now it's been officially confirmed by the AEW president, Tony Khan. Another Wednesday night meant another announcement from AEW president, CEO, general manager, and head of creative Tony Khan. And yes, once again, it's about AEW Collision. And yes, once again, it's about CM Punk. This time, Khan announced the main event of the premiere episode of Collision, which will also be Punk's return match. Punk will team with the AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR, that being Dax Howard and Cash Wheeler, to face Bullet Club Gold's Jay White and Juice Robinson, who will team with Ring of Honor World Television Champion himself, Samoa Joe. This confirms rumors that the six men would be involved in the heavily anticipated main event, and I guess the show going forward as well. The match will be Punk's first since All Out 2022, after which Punk went on an infamous rant during the post-show media scrum, which led to a locker room altercation between Punk, Ace Steel, the Elite, and members of AEW's talent relations crew. Punk's pending turn, of course, has been a very divisive topic to say the least in All Elite Wrestling, with a rumoured roster split occurring between Dynamite and Collision to keep the warring personalities separated, though the nature of this rumoured roster split is still unknown. AEW Collision is set to premiere on Saturday, June 17 on TNT, so the question is now to you guys is, what do you think of this main event? Is this the main event that you'll be tuning in for? Are you going to be tuning in anyway just to see what this looks like, feels like, Punk's returning? What do you think this means for Punk's feuds going forward? Is he going to be feuding with Bullet Club Gold's Jay White and Juice Robinson, or is he going to be feuding with Samoa Joe, as was previously reported as well? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comments section below. Now, speaking of Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, maybe a bit of an indication as to new members of Bullet Club Gold moving forward. Jay White picked up a victory over Absolute Ricky Starks on AEW Dynamite, but not without help. Although his Bullet Club Gold partner Juice Robinson was banned from ringside, it seems White may have found some new allies in the form of Austin and Colton Gunn. The former AEW World Tag Team Champions rushed to the ring while the referee was incapacitated and laid out Starks, giving White the upper hand and ultimately allowing him to pick up the victory in the match. The Guns' assist in the match comes after fresh news broke earlier yesterday that Bullet Club Gold would soon be receiving new members. While the Guns aren't officially part of the group as of right now, it would be a new direction for the brothers after their former stable, the Firm, has all but evaporated. FTR, of course, was also banned from ringside during the main event of Dynamite, and the Guns' inclusion in the Bullet Club Gold storyline could carry over into the new AEW Collision show. As I mentioned, as announced by AEW President Tony Khan, the main event of the debut episode of Collision will feature CM Punk and FTR facing White, Robinson, and Samoa Joe. It's possible the Guns will continue to assist Bullet Club Gold and in the process once again serve as a thorn in the side of FTR, to whom they lost the tag team titles back in April. So what are your thoughts on possibly the Guns being the latest members of Bullet Club Gold? Do you like that pairing? Was it needed for more members to be added to the group? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. We may also know MJF's next challenger for the AEW World Championship. On last night's AEW Dynamite, Adam Cole firmly positioned himself as the next challenger for Maxwell Jacob Friedman's AEW World Championship, and the promotion has announced that Cole will take on MJF on next week's episode in a championship eliminator match. In a war of words, MJF verbally berated Cole on a range of issues. The champion's verbal tirade referenced online chatter about Cole, his time in Ring of Honor and NXT, and rumors about his departure from WWE, including a direct reference to Vince McMahon himself. Cole struck back, saying MJF's verbal attack wasn't anything he hadn't seen before on social media. MJF called Cole's verbal retort bold words from Keith Lee's manager, but ultimately Cole chastised MJF for not being a true champion, saying that a true champion wouldn't just trade barbs on the mic, but would fight him. He emphasized that no one respects the reigning champion and that he was better than MJF, and the fans knew it. Before Cole could exit the ring, MJF grabbed Cole and told him he'd fight him any day of the week. Cole got the last word saying, quote, "Looks like we've got ourselves a match." Should Cole defeat MJF next week, he will win a title match opportunity. MJF's fourth defense of the AEW World Championship in the half year that he has held the title. It's unknown where such a match would take place, but the upcoming Forbidden Door event is, I guess, the most likely option, particularly given MJF's notorious disdain for New Japan Pro Wrestling, the promotion that cross-promotes Forbidden Door with AEW. But of course, Cole must beat the champion in a non-title match first. It's also been speculated that possibly we could see MJF versus Adam Cole at AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium, but given that's in August, there's still plenty of time to go between now and that event, so that one does feel unlikely. So when do you think, if Adam Cole of course does win the match next week, we'll see a World Championship match between Cole and Friedman? Will it be at Forbidden Door, or will it be on an upcoming episode of AEW Dynamite? What do you guys think? Now, Dynamite opened last night, as it opens most weeks at the moment, with an international title match featuring Orange Cassidy. And Cassidy might not take anything seriously, but that hasn't stopped the AEW International Champion from keeping his title reign alive over the past 237 days. On this week's AEW Dynamite, Cassidy defeated Mogul Embassy's Swerve Strickland, sneaking out the victory by reversing a roll-up pin for a roll-up of his own and successfully defending his championship for the 24th time. After the match, Cassidy was attacked by Swerve's compatriots in the Mogul Embassy, which led to Sting and Darby Allin coming to Cassidy's aid against the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. The attack follows last week's similar assault after Cassidy and Allin defeated Gates of Agony in a tag team match, which led to Sting helping them out. Only the second champion in the history of the AEW International Championship. Cassidy has held the belt since October 12 last year, when he defeated the inaugural champion Pac for the belt in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Not long after its name was changed to the, of course, it was the All Atlantic Championship. Orange Cassidy was the one that upgraded it to the international title. His 24 consecutive defenses are the most of any current AEW champion. So certainly Orange Cassidy putting up successful title defense after title defense after title defense, which I guess does lead the question, when is he going to drop the championship? Is it going to be anytime soon? And where are we headed with the Orange Cassidy, Sting, and Darby Allin partnership? Are they going to be possibly challenging for the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championships? Or will they go to the Trio Championships? Or are we going to see the Trios Champions, the House of Black, face off possibly against CM Punk and FTR on the Saturday Night Collision show? Plenty of questions when it comes to this trio that you can see on the screen right now. Now, speaking of trios matches, we've got a big one set for next week. Before the faction leaders clash in the highly anticipated Forbidden Door event on June 25th in Toronto, Bryan Danielson's Blackpool Combat Club and Kazuchika Okada's Chaos faced off in a trios match on last night's AEW Dynamite. Though Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero put up a good fight, they were ultimately no match for the ultra-violence of Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. But there's no rest for the wicked for the faction, and now another trios challenge has been laid out to the BCC, set for AEW's return to Washington, D.C. After Danielson's crew claimed victory in their latest match, the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page appeared backstage to suggest another massive trios contest. Understandably still heated after Double or Nothing's Anarchy in the Arena match, the Hung Bucks are still out for BCC blood. They question whether Mox, Utes and Castagnoli can take care of business without the aid of the American Dragon or their new allies of Konosuke Takeshita and Don Callis, and issued a challenge that was quickly accepted by the American Dragon himself. As the next chapter of the saga between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club prepares to unfold in 1 week, it will be interesting to see if Page and the Jackson brothers are fully healed from their last battle. But ready or not, there's still little chance that either team will back down, so that match is set for next week, and certainly it's going to be interesting to see what is the next development in that storyline. Now, speaking of tag teams, it's going to be the summer of Jungle Hook. Apparently, Jungle Hook is here to stay. Amid earlier speculation that the pairing of Hook and Jungle Boy Jack Perry was a temporary one, the latter made it clear on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite that they were looking to climb the ranks of AEW's tag team division, with their sights set firmly on capturing, ultimately, championship gold in All Elite Wrestling. Perry made the proclamation after Jungle Hook defeated La Faction, Igobinables Dralistico, and Preston Vance in a Texas Tornado match. Quote, "We are taking it to the next level," Perry said, as he highlighted the bruises suffered by himself and his partner during their bloody bout. "As of right now, the summer of Jungle Hook is upon us." Hook and Perry proceeded to share a fist bump in a show of solidarity. The tandem of Hook and Perry first joined forces during last year's AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming to kick off a brief run as a tag team, defeating teams such as Ethan Page and Matt Hardy and Big Bill and Lee Moriarty before going their separate ways. They reunited on May 31st when Perry rescued Hook from a beatdown at the hands of La Faction Igobinables, setting up this week's Texas Tornado match. With Wednesday's victory, Hook and Perry extended their undefeated streak to 3-0. While AEW has yet to announce their next opponents, all signs are pointing to Jungle Hook becoming a regular fixture on AEW programming. In their pursuit of the AEW World Tag Team Championships currently held by FTR, Jungle Hook may have to face established teams such as Best Friends, The Acclaimed, Lucha Brothers, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, the Hardys, the Guns, the Young Bucks, to name just a few. Obviously, the tag team division in All Elite Wrestling is packed, to say the least. Now, let's talk about the TBS Championship. TBS champion KRIS Statlander put on another stunning display of power in a big match last night against Anna JAS for the title. In the end, Stat was able to retain her championship, but not after JAS took her to the limit, as Taya Valkyrie lurked backstage, keeping her eye on the outcome of the match. Of course, KRIS Statlander won the TBS Championship from Jade Cargill at Double or Nothing, straight after Cargill had retained the title over the aforementioned Taya Valkyrie, with Valkyrie still hoping to get another title shot after being defeated by Cargill at the pay-per-view a few weeks ago. With fighting champion KRIS Statlander not to shy away from a fight, it's only a matter of time before these two powerhouses meet, with the gold on the line in the future. And elsewhere in the AEW Women's Division, a big fatal four-way match was announced for this week's AEW Rampage, of course taking place tomorrow night on TNT. On Rampage, there will be a qualifying match between Sky Blue, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Nyla Rose, and Mercedes Martinez to find out who will get a title shot. Not just any title shot, but a chance to take on AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm next week on AEW Dynamite, that being June 14 on TBS. Finally, a bit of an update on a backstage member that's well respected, not just in AEW, but in pro wrestling in general. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, a fixture in AEW is retiring. Fightful are reporting that they have learned that seamstress Sandra Gray is finishing up on the road with All Elite Wrestling imminently. She's been with the company since the beginning. Gray is very well liked by the AEW roster, and she's been making wrestling gear since the 90s when she was approached by Sable to make Johnny B. Bad's gear in WCW. She ended up working with WCW until it was acquired by WWE, and then was with WWE all the way until 2015. When All Elite Wrestling started, Brandy Rhodes was instrumental in getting Gray hired for the upstart company. Fightful have been told that even in retirement, she'll continue to make Cody Rhodes' attire, which she's done for several years. Gray has also helped make wedding dresses for on-screen wrestling weddings, as well as Houston, Texas cheerleader uniforms. Obviously, we wish her the best in her retirement, but also she got a fun send-off last night. All Elite Wrestling celebrated the career of its lead seamstress prior to Wednesday night's live broadcast of Dynamite. As I mentioned, Sandra Gray is retiring after a career in professional wrestling that began decades ago, and it's seen some of her outfits worn by some of the biggest stars in the business. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, a celebration of Gray's final night on the job in AEW was held before Dynamite went on the air last night. Dustin Rhodes led fans in Colorado Springs, Colorado, in welcoming Gray out onto the stage. AEW President Tony Khan and other staff joined them. As I mentioned, she's been doing this for years and years and years and years and years, so we wish her nothing but the best in terms of her retirement. Her work isn't going to completely disappear though, because she is going to be continuing to make the gear for the American Nightmare in WWE, so we wish her the best in her retirement, certainly. But there you go, guys, it's the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember, you can join the WN365 roster. All you have to do is click the join button. It's a link in the video description below. It'll be the pinned comment in the comment section as well. We are doing a Monday Night Wars rewatch series where we're watching every single episode of WWE Monday Night Raw and WCW Monday Nitro from the Monday Night War, so we can maybe get a better look as to really what happened in real time during that process in the 90s. The first episode of the series dropped last week. We rewatched WCW Monday Nitro episode 1. This week we are going to be watching both Nitro and Monday Night Raw, the first week that they went head to head, so that's going to be coming up exclusive for members of the WN365 roster. So as I mentioned, if you haven't already, click that join button and you can join in all the festivities and all the fun. It's a big month for this channel, a lot coming up at the end of the month as well, particularly with AEW Fight Forever releasing too. So there you go, guys. Have a great Thursday, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.